I don't know. Bad news. More Orwellian censorship happening. This is real. This is from Press TV, which is the Iranian news network. In what seems to be a coordinated action, a similar message appears on the websites of Iranian and regional television networks that claims the domains of the websites have been seized by the United States government. There it is. This website has been seized. The United States government seized PressTV.com. How the F is that? Well, here's the websites for Press TV, Iran state-run English-language news outlet, as well as Al Alam, another Iranian news outlet, and a number of other websites were replaced with messages that said their websites had been seized by the U.S. government. According to the Department of Justice, the United States seized 33 websites used by the Iranian Islamic Radio and Television Union in violation of U.S. sanctions. When does someone get to sanction the United States for murdering all those people in Libya? When does someone get to sanction the United States for murdering all those people in Iraq? When does someone get to sanction the United States for all those people we murdered in Syria? When does someone get to sanction the United States for funding ISIS, al-Nusra, and al-Qaeda in Syria? When does someone get to sanction us? We dropped 27,000 bombs on Syria. We ran out of bombs. When does someone get to sanction? But all of those bombs illegal. When does someone get to sanction us? But we're sanctioning Iran. According to the Department of Justice, the United States has seized 33 websites used by the Iranian Islamic Radio and Television Union in violation of U.S. sanctions. The FBI did not respond to a request for comment, and neither did the Department of Commerce. Wow. At least we have free speech in the United States. Am I right? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Hey, Frank Conniff, by the way, used to be on the show, just got permanently banned from Facebook.
Why?
Not really, no reason. He didn't do anything. He made it like the thing he could say is he did a Hitler joke. And so he got permanently banned from Facebook. And that's highly ironic because those are the people who were cheering on Donald Trump being, I don't know if Frank did that, but I know all the liberals are for censorship. They're for censoring Donald Trump off Facebook. They're for censoring Alex Jones off Facebook and social media. And so this is so it doesn't just stop. And this is the thing we had to explain to people at the Young Turks on a daily basis. Once they start censoring, it doesn't stop. Frank Conniff, former guy on Mystery Science Theater 3000, permanently banned off Facebook. Really? Frank Conniff is a threat? Frank Conniff's Facebook page is a threat to our national security? So you have to take away his freedom of speech. That's basically what that is. Because again, Frank Conniff has a business. He tours. And with his show. Just like you couldn't run a business 30 years ago without a television, you can't run a business today without social media. You can't. You can, but it'll fail because everybody else has an advantage. Just like if everybody else was running a company with a telephone and you were trying to run one without. So, just like the AT&T can't take away your telephone because they don't like what you're saying in your conversations, Facebook shouldn't be able to take away your Facebook page because they don't like what you're saying on your Facebook page. You know who should be able to do that? The government, if they say you violated a law and they proved it in court. That's what should happen. But here we are. Those are the same type. So the people who are now just regular lefty people are being banned forever. And if you're going to have to go fight for Frank Conniff to get his Facebook page back, which I will, you're also going to have to fight for everybody else who got banned, who didn't break a law. So if someone broke a law, a free speech law, prove it. And then you can take away their freedom of speech. Because Facebook and YouTube and Twitter are the equivalent of a printing press. And you can't take away someone's printing press without showing the law they broke. Well, here's the United States just doing flat out imperialism, taking over other people's. I mean, that's what you do when you want to overthrow a government, right? The first thing you do is you take away you get their television station, their radio station. Well, they're getting their internet, which has got their television and radio. This is what the United States is doing. This is what they do. And you know why the FBI didn't comment? Because they don't have to. How about that? This is amazing. That's why we're so popular in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We just murdered 1 million people in the country next to Iran. We murdered another 1 million people in the other country on the other side, in Libya. We just dropped 27,000 bombs in Syria to the country just to the north. We're still occupying Afghanistan. And someone else is a bad actor? We are the terrorists. The United States is the terrorists. And you want to know how I know? Here's Wesley Clark. Here's a general to tell you what the real agenda is.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who had used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They've just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
And now you know the rest of the story. Why did we invade Iraq? That's why. Why did we invade Libya? That's why. Why did we invade Syria? That's why. Why is our military in the Sudan, in Somalia? That's why. This is all about imperialism. That's why. It's all about oil, natural resources, and corporate profits. That's what this is all about. Murdering people. Murdering people. That's what this is all about. Because we can. United States is the biggest murdering terrorist country in the world. Organization. We're much, much bigger terrorists than Al-Qaeda and ISIS ever could hope to be. That's our country. Now, people like Sam Harris will tell you that we're the good guys. And we should be doing this because they have an old-timey religion that's barbaric. Unlike Sam Harris's religion, and unlike the Christianity I was brought up with, which massacred the Indians, the Native Americans in the United States, did the Crusades. Yeah, it's fantastic. Anyway, Ron, anything you want to add to this? Because this is...
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that we're just doing that to their media. And, I'll give a shout out to Medea Benjamin because she wrote the book Inside Iran that really breaks down from 1953 to present what we have done to Iran, what the United States has done to Iran over the decades. And you read that book and there's, a lot of the stuff is just, pretty stuff that most people are aware of, but a lot of the stuff, I mean, I personally wasn't even aware of, and you just read that book and every 3 sentences, you're just yelling, why are we so terrible? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, well, people don't know that they had a democratically elected president in Iran. And in 1953, the United States overthrew that president. His name was Mossadegh. And why did we do that? We did that because he was going to keep his natural resources, the oil, and he was going to distribute the profits to his people. And the United States said, no way. You don't get to keep your oil. So they kicked him out. They instituted the Shah of, they put the Shah of Iran in. And then in 20 years, they had a right-wing, fundamental religious extremists overthrow them. That's what breeds fascism. So when you get rid of democracy, that breeds fascism. And that's exactly what we brought to the Middle East was fascism. And now we're bringing murder, hellfire, displacement, and misery. And why? So Raytheon can make more money.
Well, and censorship is part of this conversation too, because the other thing we did simultaneously throughout this is we really decimated all the culture that they had. They had music industry, movies, and stuff like that. And well, we didn't want people getting the wrong idea, so we decimated that too over the years.
United States, America, fuck yeah. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.